Listen to me very carefully. I know if you like ancient discoveries, then you may know many things about them. But this video is a gold mine for you because we are moving past the common myths to look at items that actually exist in laboratories right now. We are talking about physical objects that utilize mathematical and chemical formulas that modern science didn't rediscover until centuries later. It's a surreal experience to see a 2,000-year-old tool that was built with the logic of a modern computer or a battery. While we are breaking down 15 specific finds that prove the timeline of human genius is much longer and more complex than we were taught in school. Number 15. Giza cedar fragments. This story is honestly hilarious because it shows how even the biggest discoveries can get lost in the mail. Back in 1872, some fragments of cedar wood were taken out of the Queen's chamber in the Great Pyramid. They vanished for 70 years until a curator's assistant at a Scottish university found them tucked inside a generic cigar box. Here's why these splinters matter. They're dated to roughly 3,341 BC. That's 500 years before the pyramid was even finished. It means the Egyptians were harvesting and stockpiling massive timber supplies centuries in advance, or they were reusing sacred wood from an even older era. It's a surreal link to the actual construction crew of Giza, found sitting in a tobacco tin in the back of a cupboard. Number 14. Millefiori glass plates. If you want to talk about knowledge discovered much later, you have to look at the 5th century glass plates pulled out of the dirt in Mira, Turkey. These aren't just dishes. They're a chemical and artistic flex using the Millefiori, or thousand flowers, technique. Imagine taking dozens of tiny multicolored glass rods, arranging them into microscopic floral or geometric patterns, and then fusing them all into a solid plate without blurring the designs. It's high-stakes material science. While this tech was a Roman Empire staple, finding it in Turkey totally rewrites the map of where these elite glassworking labs were actually located. Archaeologists have been meticulously piecing together hundreds of tiny shards to recreate about 30 of these 4-inch squares. It's a surreal experience to realize that 1,500 years ago, someone was mastering the melting points of various minerals to create a digital pixelated effect in glass that we still find difficult to replicate by hand today. Number 13. Metropolis bronze scrapyard. In a weird way, the ancient city of Metropolis in Turkey gave us a deleted scenes reel of history. Archaeologists didn't find a pristine gallery. They found a literal ancient scrapyard filled with over 2,000 fragments of bronze statues. We're talking about fingers, ears, and bits of robes from the Hellenistic and Roman periods, all piled up like someone was hiding the evidence. The prevailing gossip among experts is that when Christianity took over the region, these statues, which were likely polytheistic gods, became illegal almost overnight. Instead of melting them down for cash, which would have been the logical thing to do with valuable bronze, someone chopped them into thousands of tiny pieces and hid them. It's a massive collection of prohibited knowledge and art that gives us a direct line back to the 3rd century BC, showing how political and religious shifts could literally turn a city's masterpieces into junk in a single generation. Number 12. Magdala stone found in 2009 during the construction of a Catholic retreat. The Magdala stone is basically the Rosetta Stone for 1st century Jewish and Christian history. It was sitting in a synagogue in the town where Mary Magdalene lived, and it's arguably the most important find in Israel from that era. This block of stone is a 3D map of the Second Temple. It features the oldest known carving of a 7-branched menorah, plus archways, pillars, and even a representation of the sacrificial fire. And the detail is so precise that scholars think the artist must have actually stood inside the Great Temple in Jerusalem to get the blueprints right. It's a high-resolution snapshot of a building that was destroyed shortly after, acting as a physical bridge between two major religions. The fact that it was found because someone wanted to build a hotel just shows how much hidden data is still sitting right beneath the surface in the Sea of Galilee area. Number 11. Kilwa copper coins. You won't believe where a set of 12th century African coins ended up: Australia. Back in the 11th century, Kilwa, modern Tanzania, was the absolute it spot for global trade, acting like a medieval Wall Street where Chinese silk met Arabian perfumes. But then, a few decades ago, 9 copper coins were pulled off the sand on the Wessel Islands in Australia. 5 of them were minted right in Kilwa, and they shouldn't be there. At all. It's a total glitch in the history we were taught. These coins, which finally got a proper reanalysis recently, suggest that either a shipwrecked crew from East Africa washed up on Aussie shores 600 years before Captain Cook, or there was a massive secret trade network spanning the entire Indian Ocean that nobody bothered to write down. Think about the navigation logic required to cross those seas in a wooden boat. It's basically the 12th century version of a moon landing, and we're only just now finding the receipts on a random beach. Number 10. Lost Mozart manuscript. This one isn't pulled out of the dirt, but it's just as much of an artifact as a rusty sword. And imagine a 160-year-old music compilation that everyone thought was complete, only for someone to find a hidden manuscript tucked inside a library in Leipzig. It's a string trio written by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart when he was just a teenager, fresh off a years-long tour. What's wild is that it's not even in his handwriting. It's a copy, likely transcribed by his dad, Leopold, who was basically the ultimate stage parent and kept a secret list of his son's unpublished works. For over a century, this piece of music was a ghost. It shows a totally different side of the kid genius, moving away from his usual piano-heavy stuff and diving into complex string arrangements. It's a reminder that even in the age of digital archives, we're still finding deleted scenes from the greatest minds in history that were sitting right under our noses in a plain old library folder. Number 9. Takashima Mongolian anchor. Think about the absolute chaos of 4,400 ships trying to invade Japan in the late 1200s, only to be wiped out by a kamikaze typhoon. Off the coast of Takashima Island, 65 feet below the waves, lies the evidence: a massive 5.5-foot-long anchor made of wood and stone. This thing is a beast. Since we haven't found a fully intact ship yet, this anchor is the black box for the entire Mongolian armada. By studying the wood and the way the stones are weighted, researchers are trying to figure out if these ships were stolen from the Chinese Nanong dynasty or built from scratch by the Mongols. It's a massive engineering puzzle that's currently being lifted to the surface using specialized balloons. It's the only way to piece together the nautical logic of an empire that conquered almost the entire world but couldn't figure out how to survive a Japanese storm. Number 8. Medusa plaster molds. You know how we think of mass production as a modern industrial thing? Well, Sicily was apparently doing it in the 1st century BC. In the city of Fcinia, they found this literal mask factory. The coolest piece is a plaster mold of Medusa. This place wasn't just a quiet village, it was a booming urban center that suddenly pivoted into a massive manufacturing hub toward the end of its run. They've dug up piles of matrices and molds, showing they were pumping out masks and statues by the dozen. And it gives us this crazy clear window into what they were worshipping and what their decorating trends were back then. It was founded by the Greeks in 282 BC, and even though Rome eventually crushed them, they left behind this entire blueprint of how an ancient assembly line worked. It's like finding a 2,000-year-old blueprint for a modern department store's inventory. Number 7. Izalova Kohl Eyeliner Pencil. If you think the smoky eye look is a modern trend, tell that to the person who lost their eyeliner pencil 8,200 years ago in Turkey. At the Izalova Mound, researchers found a 3.7-inch stone cylinder that tapers to a fine point, and it's basically the world's oldest makeup brush. But here's the surreal experience part. There's actual black residue still stuck to the tip. They ran it through a lab and found manganese oxide, a chemical compound that would have been processed into a fine powder to create kohl eyeliner. This isn't just about vanity. It's about a society that had the chemical knowledge to identify minerals, the tools to carve precision applicators, and the stable lifestyle to worry about aesthetics. The previous record for this kind of tech was 4,000 years ago, so this find literally doubles the timeline of human cosmetic chemistry. It's a tiny stone tool that proves 8,000 years ago, people were already mixing formulas and using specialized tools to perfect their look before heading out into the Neolithic world. Number 6. Fcinia glass beads. So it turns out the Italians have been the kings of glass for way longer than anyone guessed, like 3,000 years longer. While digging at a site called Fcinia in northern Italy, archaeologists stumbled upon a literal glass-making furnace that dates back to the late Bronze Age. This is the oldest evidence of glass industrialization in all of Europe, and it's not just a few clear shards. We're talking thousands of multicolored beads that were being pumped out alongside imports like Baltic amber and elephant ivory from Africa. The chemistry needed to maintain those furnace temperatures without modern thermometers is actually insane. The city was designed like a modern business park, with shops on the ground floor and apartments above, creating this high-energy manufacturing hub long before Rome was even a thing on a map. It's a surreal look at an ancient tech startup culture that was already mastering complex chemical coloration and international exports, while the rest of the continent was still mostly living in huts. Number 5. Hongshan Jade Dragon. Forget everything you think you know about primitive Neolithic people, because 5,100 years ago, someone in China was carving jade with the precision of a laser. This massive jade dragon, found recently in a circular stone tomb in Chifeng, is a total beast. It's split into 3 perfectly weighted parts and spans nearly 7 inches, making it the biggest find of the Hongshan culture. But the real wait what moment is the tomb itself. It's 77 feet wide and has a built-in sacrificial altar. This wasn't just a grave, it was a high-concept architectural project. And they were using stone and soil engineering to create a permanent monument to their logic and religious hierarchy. Looters almost got to it first, but the rescue dig revealed that these people were obsessed with symmetry and material science. To carve jade, which is incredibly hard, into these smooth, flowing C shapes without power tools requires a level of patience and geometric understanding that feels almost superhuman for a society that hadn't even invented the wheel yet. Number 4. Diana the Huntress Gold Ring. Check out the craftsmanship on this ring found in Norfolk. It's honestly better than some of the stuff you'd see in a jewelry store today. A local out with a metal detector found this 4th century gold piece, and it is a technical masterpiece. The band isn't just a hoop, and it's made of 3 separate gold wires twisted and intertwined to create this perfect triangular mount for the stone. The gem itself is an oval carnelian carved with the image of Diana the Huntress, and she's even got a little dog or stag trailing along with her. What's wild is that the gold is a bit banged up, but that carved stone is still flawless. Researchers are looking at the specific tool marks to figure out exactly what kind of high-precision lathes or engraving tools they were using in Roman Britain. It's small, but the logic behind the metal weaving is pure engineering. Number 3. Luven Roman water pipe. Imagine walking down a busy street in modern Belgium and realizing that 13 feet directly under your sneakers is a sophisticated plumbing system from the year 100 AD. In Luven, they hit a 100-foot-long wooden water pipe that is still in incredible shape. This wasn't some primitive ditch. It was a high-budget engineering project that only a seriously wealthy, organized city could pull off. They're actually using tree ring dating on the wood right now to pinpoint the exact year the Romans laid it down. It's a reality check on ancient tech, They had pressurized, clean water systems while the rest of the world was still drinking from muddy holes. It shows that the prosperity of these old Roman hubs was built on the kind of infrastructure we take for granted today. Number 2. Liuhi fish scale armor. China's Marquis of Haihun tomb is basically the ultimate ancient armory, but the tech inside is what's truly wild. And they found a pile of armor that was so fragile, they had to lift the entire chunk of earth it was sitting on just to save it. After 2 years of surgical cleaning, they realized it was 7,000 individual scales made from a cocktail of materials: lacquered iron, copper, and leather all stitched together onto a fabric backing. It's called fish scale armor because it's designed to be flexible like a second skin while being virtually bulletproof to ancient arrows. Most units back then just used one material, but this was a high-tech composite suit. The lacquer boxes they were stored in dissolved ages ago, leaving this massive, shimmering mound of ancient Kevlar that's unlike anything else from that period. Number 1. Okanoma gold inlaid spear. I was looking at this find from Japan, and it's honestly mind-blowing what they could do in the 6th century without any modern machinery. This 12-inch iron spear was found on Okanoma, the island of the gods, and it's basically the oldest evidence of this kind of tech in the country. It was sealed inside a gilt bronze sheath that kept the rust away for over a millennium. When they ran it through CT scans and X-rays, they saw these insane designs: phoenixes, flowers, and even tortoiseshell patterns. They used a technique called kintsugi, where you carve tiny grooves into the iron and then hammer gold directly into them. It's so delicate that experts say there's no way it was used in a real fight. It was a ritual gift for the sea deities. It's just wild to think someone was sitting there 1,400 years ago doing microscopic metalwork. And it's a trip to realize that the cutting-edge logic we brag about today was actually being mastered in workshops thousands of years ago. History isn't a straight line. It's a series of peaks we're only just beginning to map out. These objects prove that human genius doesn't have a date. It just has different ways of showing off. Thanks for watching. If you're ready to move past the myths and see what else is hiding in the labs, hit that subscribe button and join us. Give this a like if it changed how you look at the past, and drop a comment. Which of these impossible tools blew your mind the most?